Hey mates, and welcome to MtMtE's. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be talking about Darklon, the new G.I. Joe Classified Series figure in the newest wave of figures. I think in this wave we got Monkey Wrench, Blowtorch, and Darklon, and out of the three, I really wanted the Darklon the most of all. I've got plenty of Joes, so I didn't really need a Blowtorch, and I I wish I was collecting the Dreadnoughts, but I've only managed to get two Dreadnoughts, and Xandar's just been impossible to get, and I don't know. I just don't have the money to get the Dreadnoughts. So I've decided, hi Bitty Boots, what's up with you? Huh? Yeah? Who's a good Bitty Boots? You're a good Bitty Boots. Yes, you are. Bitty Boots is the outside cat, and she snuck in today. And I was like, why don't you come into the studio and be a part of the video? And Bitty Boots seems to enjoy that. But I'm just Bitty Boots' favorite person. Who's a good Bitty Boots? You're a good Bitty Boots. So, today's video is about Darklon, like I said a minute ago. And we're going to be discussing Darklon from his feet to his head. And we're going to be talking about his accessories and all the good things and nice things about Darklon. Even though Darklon doesn't have an ounce of good or nice in him because he is evil for evil's sake. He's not evil for goodness sake. Bitty Boots, who's a loving thing. Oh, Cream. Cream likes Bitty Boots. Bitty Boots, get out of the way. Get out of the way. All right, so let's get into today's video, and we'll start with the my favorite accessory. No, not my favorite accessory that he comes with, the weirdest accessory he comes with. And the weirdest accessory he comes with is this odd gun. So I've been able to figure out it's a needle gun. The gun is needle based. That's pretty neat. One second. Come here, Bitty Boots. There. Bitty Boots, chill. Look, you like sitting in laps. There's my lap. Will you sit in my lap? No? Okay. So, this it is a needle gun, and it's not a needle gun. It's not the needle gun that you come to love and expect from Halo Combat Evolved. This is the needle gun from the 80s. This is the idea of a needle gun. It's got a gas pressure. It's got a little bit of tank of CO2, I assume. And then the buttstock. And then the trigger is on top of the buttstock. And then the rest of the gun is on top of the trigger. And it stretches out pretty far. It feels like it's got a big old rotary area at the front, but that isn't a big old rotary area. And there's the only way that things escape from this area is this little bitty hole at the front. That is blast effect compatible, by the way. But from what I've been able to figure out, all the needles are in this chamber at the front of it, and then as it pressurizes, a needle pops into the pressurization chamber and I guess shoots out the front. I don't know how it works. It's a weird gun, and we don't even know what to call it because nobody's sure what to call it online. They don't even have it labeled as anything but gun in the G.I. Joe classified box he came in. This gun doesn't have a name. I'm like, really, guys? You come up with a gun and you couldn't even come up with a fun name for it? You just called it his accessory, his gun accessory, when you could have named it all sorts of things. You could have called it, Bessie, or you could have called it the Needler, or you did something. You could have done something with it, but it is annoying that you didn't. And it's one of those, like, really, guys, you're so good at being creative and coming up with this stuff. So it's an alright gun. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You would expect the buttstock to be behind the rest of the gun and be able to, put against your shoulder. But no, this one's actually made to sit against his hip. So it's supposed to sit against his hip while he's firing it. And it's even got a little armored place on his hip where it actually rests on. So that's this weird gun. That's the weird needle gun. I don't like the needle gun. I consider the needle gun the worst accessory, but it's a decent gun. The worst part about it is that they made it out of the rubbery stuff. So it bends, and that means that this gun is heavy. It's heavy, 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 and it should not be heavy. It should be lightweight. Like, the gun that we got with heavy duty. Not heavy duty. Roadblock. Heavy duty roadblock. Yeah, it was heavy duty roadblock. He came with a rotary gun that was awesome. And weight a lot less than this gun weighs. It's just one of those, really, guys? Okay. So that's enough about the gun. Let's talk about my favorite accessory, which is this sword. This is the best sword we've gotten in G.I. Joe. I'll stand on that hill. This is a bastard sword. If I've ever come across a bastard sword before, it's got serrated bits, it's got little pointy bits on right above the pommel, and it's got a long blade. But it's not a claymore, because a claymore would the end of its pommel would actually stretch to the top of the head of the person wielding it, because every claymore is specifically built for the person wielding it, or at least that's the way it's supposed to be. And every claymore has a different height to it, because every person is slightly different in height. So that's kind of a neat little lesson about claymores, at least that I understand from the Vikings. Modern day claymores probably different, but anyway, the sheath of this weapon is very well done. We got a little jewel bit at the bottom. We've got what feels like metal stretched over the bottom of the sheath to keep it sturdy and stable. We got a couple of wraps around it. We also got this really intricate etching, and I can't figure it out. Let me know in the comments below. What is that etching? So, overall, nice sword. Nice bastard sword. It's got this really long blade, razors, and not razors, serrated edges, and then these pointy bits, and he can hold it in two hands. He holds it very well. It's actually pretty cool. Let's go ahead and do that, just so you can get an idea of what's going on with this guy. This is just, he's a fun character. He is a fun character, and I'm glad they released him during this Yojo June. Just a great character to have for Yojo June. He just holds it very well, very easily. Not much work at all to get him to hold the blade, and you can get him to, because he's got so much articulation, you can do all sorts of things with this blade if you wanted to. I like this. I like the blade. I like the how articulated this figure is, so he could use that blade. And I like the fact that we get somebody with a sword who's not a ninja. So we got the Crimson Guard had swords, rapiers. The Irongranadiers have rapiers, and now he's got a claymore, and that's awesome. Now he also has a holdout blaster. It's a tiny little thing. I'm not pulling it out of that sheath because it's really difficult to get it back in that sheath on his butt. It's my advice. Once you put it in there, just don't worry about it ever again. It's a nice little holdout blaster. And what I'm trying to figure out is, like, it's odd that this sheath isn't removable. And I'm so used to removable sheaths. This one's just kind of into his butt panel. So this is a holdout blaster. He's shoved down the back of his pants. That's the impression I'm getting from it. Isn't that where all holdout blasters belong? So the other accessory he comes with is this really nice dagger. He comes with a really nice dagger. It's got a little pommel on it. We've actually seen this dagger with a few other characters. I'm drawing a blank on them right now, but I swear I have actually talked about a character recently who had a dagger, and it was really nice. And this is a very similar dagger to that dagger. And once again, the holster is actually part of the foot. It's part of his leg. You can't remove the dagger holster and put it on another character if you wanted to, which is a shame. And on his other leg, he's got these grenades wrapped all the way around his leg. I guess that's where he stores them, but it's really hard to grab those. He can't grab those. He's gonna have to like kick his leg up. Let's see. Yeah, there it goes. So he's just gonna have to. There it is. That's Darklon getting more grenades. All right, made myself laugh until I coughed. So that is the accessories that Darklon comes with. In addition to his heads, we'll talk about the heads last. I got his favorite head on right now. We'll actually talk about the other head first, and then we'll talk about that head as the last bit, because it is my favorite. So the other head he has is the best way I can think about, from what I felt on this head, it's actually a mask that's over some sort of something going on his face. And the feel of it, it feels like it's a mixture between Shredder and Darth Vader and some sort of Mayan king with the little tips that go over the edge, the top. It's kind of the Mayan look I'm feeling from it, with these edges at the top. But the most part, it just feels like Darth Vader and Shredder had a mask baby, and this is their mask. It's really creepy feeling. We got this triangle bit at the front. We got these little cuts into the fabric, mask itself on the sides to give him this. It's cool. It also feels like it's a gas mask. So it works. It's two different things. That's where I get the impression of Darth Vader from, is the gas mask aspect of the front of this. And we got the deep set eyes in there. We got eyes in there. And the mask is actually made of a slightly different material than the rest of the head. Just slightly different, but not by much. Very similar to how they did Maximum Series Hulk by using two different materials to accomplish a really simple task. To accomplish a really nice feeling thing. Like the pants were really good. So we're going to put that head off to the side. Now let's get into this figure and talk about him from bottom to top. The underside of the feet, there's no heel this time. It's just a straight up flat foot going all the way around. It's very odd, but I get that maybe he just wants extra stability while wielding that big old needle gun. But the etchings is in there. We got some really nice cleat work on the edges of the boot, and we also have some good textures on the inside. I love it when they texture the inside of the underside of the feet. That is just, nobody ever looks down there. And I love that attention to detail. Just because no one looks down there doesn't mean you shouldn't make it look nice. I mean, that's why the brickwork in the sewer system of New York City is so nice looking. But you never see it, because who goes down there except for maintenance personnel? And it gives them something nice to look at every day. And isn't that wonderful for them? So moving to the top of the foot, leather texture, smooth foot. And smooth leather going up to the knee. He's got knee-high boots. The boot swivel is cut very well. So the actual knee pad is part of the boot. So when you swivel the foot backwards, we get a knee padless knee. And this is just pants fabric going all the way down. And that is wonderful. And that's wonderful that they sculpted that in so that if you twisted the boot away, you still had that texture there. And that is nice. That's quality right there. On the back of the leg, we've got the typical sculpted-in pattern of pants that are tucked into boots. So we've got the wrinkles and stuff on the back of the knee to allow some extra movement. Very nicely done. Moving up here to his, so by the way, double-jointed knee. And I said boot swivel. He also has the typical stuff we get with his feet. And he has ratcheted ankles, by the way. Now, his knee's also a ratchet. I really appreciate that. His hips aren't a ratchet, which I'm annoyed by. I really want more ratcheted hips. But he can kick sideways at a 90. He can kick up at a 90. He can kick back at less than a 90, 20 degrees. He's got thigh swivel. So his thigh can rotate and his boot can rotate. So we can get a lot of sculpting and not a lot of poses in with this guy. Upper leg feels very similar to the lower leg when it comes to that pants. He's wearing a thicker thing. It's not jeans. It feels like more canvasy fabric, and it feels like there's some sort of rigid armor stuff underneath the pants for his upper thighs. It feels like he's got armor on the sides of his upper thighs. He's also got a pocket on the front of one of his upper thighs, and that's the spot where, then the other side, it's smooth, but it feels like it's got a little more armor, and I assume that's where the buttstock goes. He puts it on his left thigh whenever he's firing his crazy needle gun. Coming up here to his groin area, we've got a belt that goes all the way around, but it's not a separate piece. I know, it's weird. But there's a belt buckle. Feels really cool. And we've got a nice groin texturing going on there. We've got the fold over for the zipper and stuff, and I always love that when they do the fold over where the zipper's hidden underneath it. That's always fun. On the back, we've got the back of him where this gun is shoved into the back of his jeans or his pants, and then his little pocket on the other side. But the pocket on one side is covered by the gun, and there's not really much more to talk about there. Articulation wise there, he's got a 360-degree waist. He can also lean to the left a decent amount, lean to the right a decent amount, lean forwards all right, lean back, okay. He doesn't have crunch, so he doesn't have an ab crunch, but he does have a decent motion there. He's got what is basically a cup and ball style thing going on for his chest. His chest is the ball, and his groin area is the cup, and he just pops in. Really, really well done. Really nice. His armor on his chest, very smooth, but feels very heavy. It feels like it is very heavy, heavy armor. Um, I don't like the fact that it's just the straight up plastic on the front. I wish we had gotten some sort of rubberized armor covering him like we did with other G.I. Joes, but for the most part, very, very well done. Um, I just don't like the way that his chest piece feels. But then again, it feels also like it's some thicker armor, like he's wearing a thick armor chest. And so that could work. That could. Uh, Coming over here to his side, his right side has a shoulder pauldron that feels it's rounded, but not completely rounded. It feels like the best way I can describe it is there were these shield enemies from Vector Man that had these slightly curved shields that they would punch out in front of them. And that is what this feels like. It feels like that slightly curved shield that those enemies had. There's even a little spike in the middle of it. And the way it feels texture-wise reminds me a lot of those enemies from Vector Man. A lot. Now, it may not be the same color, but at least it has the same feel. And, you know, I could also be misremembering it for all I know. But that's my impression. And we come down here to the arms. We've got wonderful, easy to maneuver arms that move like a dream, and they're ratcheted, so you know they can hold that overweighted gun that he comes with. Then we come down here. His hand moves 360 degrees, and it's got up and down motion to it. He also has what feels like a little wristwatch or something on his right arm, on his right hand. It doesn't move around on its own, sadly. It's not an extra piece that they added on. It's just something sculpted into the plastic. On his other arm, he doesn't have a shoulder pauldron. He has got plain arm up there at the top, and a nice little armor bit to continue the armor bit from the rest of his body. But then we come down here to his arm, which is just, you know, feels like it's made out of, he's wearing a shirt. And we come down to his left gauntlet, which is an armored gauntlet. We've got ridged armor, feels very similar to Shredder's, except it doesn't have the knife edges on it. And it's just a nice little armored gauntlet, and it has the up and down motion as well. Not much, though. Kind of a shame. But it does do, and it rotates 360 degrees. Now, let's come up here and talk about my favorite part of him, which is his head. But one more time, just mention that he does have this fun strap that runs across his body, and it does have a little strap bit that comes down on the side, and it wraps around both sides of him. It is a very neat little strap. So, you know, the strap also has really great leather textures to it, by the way. Now, his head. Let's talk about the head, because this is just where it's at. Okay, this is the Gene Simmons tongue. He's got a tongue that sticks out, and then like it's just it's a straight up Gene Simmons tongue. I love it. It's so, and his face feels so creepy. It is a skull mask he's wearing, and you got that nose texture. You got this huge gaping mouth with the tongue sticking out of the front. You got the straps on top of his head. You know, really well done when it comes to the texturing. Just immaculate texture work here. Just amazing sculpting going on all the way around for this mask that he has on. It makes him just look insanely creepy with that tongue hanging out. And I mean, part of me wonders, like, is this actually your mask, or is this just your face with your tongue hanging out of it? And just that is what it feels like. If it wasn't for the straps, I'd straight up call it his face. But they did a really good job with the straps. And then they all come around to the back of his head and attach together. Really nicely done. Really, really well done figure. All in all, I am a lover of the Irongranadiers, and I am a lover of Destro's cousin, Darklon, who leads the Irongranadiers, and we've desperately needed another evil enemy to lead our enemy soldiers. And it's not the Dreadnought. So we needed some named characters who weren't that. And I'm glad I got one. And I'm glad I got such a fun one. He's just awesome. His articulation is epic. His accessories are really fun. The gun is really weird, but you know, and his extra head with the tongue is just it's exceptional. It makes him pop, in my opinion, and definitely gets the S category. This may be one of the best figures of the year. He will be appearing in the top 10 unless something better comes out this year, but he has just got the sculpt work down. He's got the articulation down. He's got everything that you would want from a G.I. Joe classified figure. But I have blathered on long enough about him today. I've been Blind Prime. There's been Bitty Boots that popped up, and also a Cream that's popped up. Who's a good Cream cat? Who's a good Cream? You're a good Cream. Yes, you are. Cream likes Bitty Boots. Thank you all so much again for watching. Until next time, bye-bye for now.